Manchester United won, Newcastle 0. And yes, you heard it right, no typo. Manchester United's opposition haven't scored. Second clean sheet of the season. Grinding out the result with all the players that we have missing. Mason Mount coming off injured at half time. And United get the 3 points. And honestly, I'll take the win. I did go into this period of games knowing that we had players missing to AFCON when Bruno went down. And I thought, you know what? The results matter most. If we win ugly, if we grind it out, I'll take it. Because we are quite heavily handicapped at the moment. I will not be disingenuous and I will not lie. So I'll definitely take it, especially against a team like Newcastle, who have been struggling away from home, but we've struggled against them quite a lot recently. And I thought defensively, we were pretty good today. Ayden Heaven and Martinez, by the way, what a performance from them two. And I'm going to shout out Ayden Heaven in particular, because I think for the last 3 games, really, when he's first starting, he was a little bit shaky, and then he's got his rhythm underneath him, got a little bit of confidence about himself. Great in his 1v1 duels. So elegant and calm on the ball as well. And he's got power and he's still going to grow into himself as well. I thought Ayden Heaven was incredible tonight. He was so good. So especially battling against Walt Made. His box defending. His anticipation. His dueling, as I said. I was standing up after the game and I thought, you know what? He deserves a massive shout from me and a round of applause. I thought it was incredible, especially for a young lad. And he's starting to really grow into a really, really serious player. And obviously, youngsters, they will have peaks and troughs, so I'm not going to jump the gun, but I really like his skill set and I really like what he brings to the team. And I think today, without the performance that he put in, we might not have won today. I think he was that pivotal, and I think, for me, by far and away, he's man of the match. Dorgu could probably get it as well. I thought Dorgu had a well-needed great performance as well. And listen, the technique on that volley, you mad? Do you know what's mad? We sit around saying Dorgu, technically a little bit erratic and that, and then he pulls that out. This is what you need to remember, what these Premier League footballs and what they're on. The standards are on, man. Sometimes it's just confidence. But the way he was deployed today, playing right wing, he looked like it turned him into Lecce, Dorgu. The reason that we signed him. Played with a lot more confidence, ran tirelessly. We know the physicality he represents. We know the energy he represents. And him, I feel like I could go through the whole team, and that's something that I definitely want to speak about, is the effort. The effort, the attitude, and the mentality was sensational from every player to a man. Apart from Xerxes, I'm just going to disregard that cameo because Xerxes came on and put on one of the... Hey, that was an eyesore. And I thought the first half, we've seen Amram adapt. This is like the 3rd game running now that he's tweaked his shape. And I will not lie, if I think of it relatively, I think for the majority of the Bournemouth, Villa and Newcastle game, even though the results haven't been there, I think the performance levels at times have been decent, have been fairly good. I'm not going to lie, I've seen quite a lot that I do like. And I've been harping on, I think United have some good players. We didn't get a result against Bournemouth. We didn't get a result against Villa. We got the result tonight. I think us getting 4 points out of a possible, 9 out of the last 3 games, I feel like it probably is fair-ish based on performance over the 3. And I thought first half we were the better team. Newcastle didn't have a sniff. I think they had 0.1 XG, couldn't create anything, couldn't break us down. We looked quite solid in there. I thought even Ugarte had one of his better games today. Looked like he's a little bit more effective when he's not the sitter and he's allowed to he's got Casemiro next to him and he can almost be that dogged player that you can say, let him off the leash almost. That's almost when he's pressing front foot and he's defending front foot. I think that suits him a little bit more. And I thought we were decent. But then the second half is what I'm going to get to. I think the players started to tire a little bit. Mason Mount coming off, I think that does affect us defensively. I think we do know that he does bring a lot to us in terms of our press in structure and his defensive discipline. Obviously with Fletcher coming on. And then we just sat off. Very, very deep, played very passively. I think we had like 15% possession the whole second half. Invited a lot of pressure. That is a game state that Newcastle do struggle with. They're not the best when it comes to breaking down low box and being creative. And I think that reared that ugly head for them again today. So it ended up being a good ploy today against the opposition that we had, because they're similar to us where they favour when the game is a little bit more stretch. They can use their physicality, pace and power transitions. They've got to basically break down two banks of four, all their personnel group isn't really got those kind of Bruno Fernandes types or those Cole Palmers and Odegaards or people that have got that little bit of added creativity. It's all more straight line runners and passers. So I think that kind of worked against them today. But I thought even that, we defended our penalty area really well. I thought the players worked hard. Quite a few shaky moments, but I just think, I know results obviously do matter a lot when you're a manager. So I wonder whether it's just that lack of courage maybe from Amorim, where he's 1-0 up, he probably didn't expect it. He's probably worried about the game. Newcastle have a lot of their players available. United are short-handed. And he sees us coming under a little bit of pressure the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, and then he's gone very defensive, kind of made us, it seemed to morph right back into like a back 6-7 almost, just basically pending on the edge of our own box. I know it kind of kept him out for the most part. We had a little bit of a few near misses. I thought Lemens was really good with commanding his area. Obviously, we had that little shaky moment with Lewis Hall, who was probably their best player on the day, and their most threatening player hitting the bar. And then I think Gordon had a bit of an opportunity there, but Ugarte got across, got the Lewis Miley one. But it's a lot of snatchy half chances that they got. They didn't really create many big openings. And I think that was shown by the XG, where the XG was pretty much equal between the two teams. And we basically got our C team out there, and Newcastle didn't even struggle to beat us. So I'm just going to take positives and be happy with the result, but I'm not going to lie, the second half was a tough watch. Amorim has shown the ability to be clever, to be adaptable, to be able to tweak his formation, veer away from his usual ideals. But once again, I think his in-game management is where he sometimes looks like he leaves a lot to be desired. And he does have a little bit of cowardice that you obviously wouldn't want from a United manager. But I don't know if you could put it down to him just being desperate for a result, under a bit of pressure, seeing us getting a little bit on the wrong side of a bit of momentum that first 10 minutes, and he's kind of thought, I need to throw more defenders on, or I need to become more defensive. And he's worked out in the end, because we kept him out, got a clean sheet, which is only our second of the season, and we get the 3 points with Dorgu's stunner. Could have even nicked a couple there when we were in transition breaking away, but damn, that was a little, it was ugly, innit? That's like, I was on the watch along downstairs. I literally spent the last 20 minutes with my ass clenched, a bit nervy, barely speaking, and the whistle blew, because European football is going to be so vital. I do not want to miss out on Europe again this season, because that's when the true litmus test and test will come, when we have to balance European football and the league, not just having all our focus on the league football that we have this season. And just in terms of financial power, being able to get the signings that we need European football to be entice these players enough. Even though, interesting enough, we got Mbeumo and Cunha without it, but there's only so much that United's name can carry. But honest to God, outside of Xerxes being a bit of a painful to watch the second half, couple of erratic play from Sesko. I thought Sesko was okay. He had some really nice touches. Sesko's still someone that it does seem like he has the tools there. He shows patches of what he could be capable of, but he still just needs to be moulded and gelled together, needs to be refined, and it's just not quite there yet. But as I said, I think Lenny Yoro coming on as well, right back against Anthony Gordon. I feel like his form has been quite bad, but he's been platformed in areas, to defend in areas he clearly isn't comfortable with, against Premier League level wingers as well. So I'm not gonna come off the Euro bandwagon too soon and be too pessimistic about him. I still think there's a lot of talent there. I think we've got a good group of players in terms of lads and characters and personalities, and there's enough talent. I'd like to see Amorim stay with this implementation of this adjustment tactically and formationally when we get more of our players back, because I think United could be capable of being a serious team. Because I think the instructions where to be in terms of positions and that seems to, the instructions are a little bit more simpler for the players that look a lot more comfortable in terms of figuring it out. And I think teams are finding solutions in terms of breaking us down a lot more difficult for the most part. But there has been a pattern where the aggression in terms of the way we play and then we press, our press has been fairly decent, especially to start games. Get to the 55, 60-minute marks when we can tire a little bit. It starts to look a little bit more, not as brutal, not as hard to play against. And I think that's why we conceded so many late goals and dropped so many leads. So today we actually managed to grind out the result, which is a massive vote of confidence. You see how the players reacted after it. And we go into a Wolves game at home now where you're thinking, there's an opportunity for 2 wins on a bounce here. And then you're looking around the corner and you can have Mbeumo and Ahmad coming back probably within the next few weeks. This period here was always about grinding out results and trying to somehow stay afloat without our players there. And today was a good step in doing that. It's not perfect. Nobody's out of the woods yet. Still got a long season ahead to go. Things can change really quickly. But that 3 points is important, puts us in 5th. It's the first team to win this weekend. If results go our way, we should still be hovering around in the top 7. And then we can still have that stranglehold for European football, which I think is there for the taking. Because I think our rival teams, a lot of them, aren't as strong as they have been in the past. Balancing Europe, I think United have a good enough personnel when everyone's fit to grab Europa at the very least. And we'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, I'm tired, man. It's been a tiring day. Been here all day, I didn't get my Boxing day off, but United, I made it worthwhile. 1-0 win, 3 points. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you're new, the road to 10k, remember to hype the video as well. I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. 3 points. Happy days.